All right, folks, how you doing? WrestleTrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box. Mind, body, spirit, fitness. Put in the healing back and health. Visit the website, sign up for the newsletter, get your free downloads, setting goals, fitness, and nutrition. Follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Podcast is out there. Check out all those good resources, free information. Hopefully it's going to help you on your journey. Coming at you today with a topic. I just thought of a new phrase for it. It's going to be an inbred society, right? Signs of an inbred society. Are you inbred? Something like that. Right now, we all know, if you look up a YouTube video, I saw one of like how we as humans have destroyed the breeds of dogs from this inbreeding and this wanting of purity, right? So if you look at that video, we can see how we have changed and altered the looks, and how, like the Spud McKenzie dog, whatever that type of dog is, how its face kind of got deformed to what it is now. Or the German Shepherd, how when you see it, like its hind legs and its butt's tucked under, and they have a lot of hip issues. This is what has happened from us as humans inbreeding them, right? And maybe now that I think about it, this is just another conspiracy. It just popped into my head while I was discussing that. Maybe that's why a lot of these global leaders in the past have been so tyrannical and evil-meaned, evil-spirited, right? Because unfortunately in those times, people, or even in today's society, right? Like, people don't want to leave money to other people, right? And if you don't want to leave money to other people, other societies, or you want to keep everything within the family, right? We can, they will inbreed. They'll marry their cousins, they'll date each other, marry each other, and now I would assume, as in dogs can come up with health issues, maybe this could lead to mental health issues, spiritual health issues, which within these ancient cultures, these ancient leaders that had unfortunately led them down that path. Conspiracy theory, whatever. I was just going for it. It popped up. Interesting thought that had popped into my head. So maybe that's another reason why these people seem so evil in certain ways, right? I once listened to this crazy YouTube channel for a while where he talked about inbreeding as a good thing. That's kind of what like the aliens did. Like, this dude was crazy. I enjoyed listening to him for a while. He was pretty crazy, but interesting stuff. And he was talking about like the benefits of that, right? Not sure, anyways. But what I wanted to go with, maybe you do have health issues that could be signs of inbreeding within your family, right? Even though I was listening to a Christian study guide on the theology of the body. That's something you should definitely check out, theology of the body. Something very interesting about spiritual man, Christianity, how man fits into this equation with God and the relationship, how God is within us. It was very interesting. But he said, coming from a anthropology, study of man, anthropological, I don't know if that's how you would say it, but in some way, shape, or form, we are all like 50th cousins, which, if it's true, is pretty crazy. But the way I was going at it now, after I got all that gunk out of the way, was this inbred society that we are creating, right? Because what is that? Like I've just mentioned, inbreeding is mingling with yourself, right? Your relatives, those closest to you. And unfortunately, this is this downfall of the world that we live in, right? I was watching some things and learning about the things going on in college campuses now where we need safe spaces, right, within a college. So we are going to college where it's supposed to be a university, diversity is supposed to be all around us, but unfortunately we need safe spaces within that university because we are afraid of being out in public who we are, sharing our point of view, so we only want to be around like-minded people, right? Isn't that a form of inbreeding, right? Mental inbreeding. We only want to be around people that have our same thoughts. And if you don't have our same thoughts, then we don't want to be around you, right? Well, in that sense, doesn't that unfortunately give us the inability to have sympathy for someone else's lifestyle, point of view, or experiences in life, their troubles? We can no longer have sympathy and empathy for these people because we have no clue what they are going through. We don't care what they're going through. We don't care about their thoughts or their beliefs, and we don't even want to understand where they come from, right? And then when it comes down to somebody to where we can't even nowadays have a simple argument, right? Argument is a good word. If you read this book, How to Win Every Argument, How to Argue and Win Every Time, he talks about arguing in here being a beautiful thing, right? It's a way of communication. Any way you communicate is an argument, right? If you were just having, we can use discussion, right? In this political correct world, oh my goodness, the word argument is so offensive. Well, then discussion. We can't even have a discussion with our fellow man that does not see things the way that we see them. Isn't that pretty pathetic? Without calling names and this and that, in my opinion, it should be, right? It's kind of that concept of the first person to bring up Hitler and the Nazis is the one to lose, right? Well, the first one to call names is going to be the first one to lose. Because unfortunately, once you start resorting to calling names, we don't have a discussion. And that's the downfall of society. We have come into this framework of we are mentally inbred to where if you don't think as I think, then I don't care about you. I don't want to talk to you. You're a horrible person. And that is the downfall of today's society, right? Just because I don't believe in the things that you believe in doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean that I wish death upon you. It just means I don't believe that. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's the beauty of it. It is diversity. We have a different point of view. And when we are both here, once we can learn to convey our messages properly, get a better understanding of our own message. Because in reality, we don't have all of the information for our true message and beliefs. So we need to bounce these ideas off of someone else so we can come together for the true solution, right? It's that same concept of a successful business, a successful person is not always going to want yes men around them. They need someone around them that's going to tell them, no, you are wrong. You need to do it this way. And unfortunately, in today's society, that's not what we're doing with these safe spaces and these groups and all these different things. I've said it before. If you want to be a true, well-rounded, intelligent Christian Catholic man, you need to know other people's point of view, right? Because you're going to encounter these different arguments when you are having these discussions that you need to have answers to. And if you're not out talking with those people that disagree with you or listening to people that argue and discuss these things for a living, how are you going to be able to see the other point of view to actually have an intelligent conversation? If the conversation is just, I have my friends, my circle of friends, and we all believe in the same thing and everything's perfect, unfortunately, you're never going to truly grow. Because in reality, a lot of the things that I personally believe can be wrong, right? Unless we understand the full concept of everything, right? There's always going to be two sides to every story, right? Or like they say, there's three sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and the truth, right? So we need to understand these things. We need to stop mentally inbreeding ourselves and only sticking within our circle. We need to make sure that we are truly open-minded to every experience in life. And once again, I think that's the beauty of the Catholic Church that people don't understand. Even though the church is strict in its beliefs, the church always says do your research. The church always says make sure that you know the truth about these things. Always seek out truth, and truth will find you, and you will be in a good place, right? That's like when people dislike the church talks about contraception or abortion, and it's like, I don't believe in that. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I used to be that way, right? And then after hours of reading, hours of different talks on the subject of Catholic teaching, I finally soon, my eyes were open, the scales dropped from my eyes, and I understood why. And like I've always told everybody, it's hard to live it, but that doesn't mean it's not true, right? It's hard, it's true that eating fast food and junk is going to kill you sooner. The hard part is actually eating healthy every day. We all struggle with that, but that does not negate the fact that eating whole, wholesome, home-cooked meals is healthier than going out to eat, right? But it's hard to live that lifestyle. It's proven that exercise is healthy for you, but it's hard to live that lifestyle. But that doesn't mean that just because it's hard to live that lifestyle, it's not true, right? You need to understand that yourself. So, are you being mentally inbred? Are you mentally inbred yourself? And I think this is another reason why the Christian faith is struggling so hard, because these parents don't even know why they think these things sometimes. You know, it's the equivalent of, we're in Lenten season right now, right? And being in the Lent season, we have fish fries. I'm a part of the Knights of Columbus, so I help cook the fish fries at my church, at my parish. And in doing that, we all get together, right? So my mother comes. She doesn't really listen to politics. She believes in everything that the Catholic Church teaches, but not knowing a political view of these stances or the way the political system works, or just not being used to having these discussions with others, she encountered a lady, because one of her Lent goals was to go to parish functions more, meet people that go to our parish, or mingle with people that she doesn't normally talk to. And my lady showed up, and she was there with my mother, and this lady got into this whole big debate on defense spending and how we should be spending our government dollars. And the funny thing is, my mother, not used to being in those situations, felt very uncomfortable, right? And my girlfriend, my lady at the time, she was like, oh man, I was just, in my mind, I knew every rebuttal you had to what this lady was saying. She's like, I was just thinking, this is what Russell would say, this is what Russell would say, this is what Russell would say. And my mom said, I didn't really know, I'm not really ever in that situation, so I just decided I was going to be quiet. Next time, I'm just going to make sure I don't sit next to that lady. It's like, well, no. Stop watching soap operas and Lifetime and turn on something that's going to have benefit to you, which is, in some instances, news, political TV, political radio stations, and open your mind and expand yourself so you can have this conversation, right? So, once again, there you go. Are you mentally inbred? Of course, we all know the physical issues with being inbred. What about the spiritual issues of being inbred, right? Like I said, that's another reason why children fall away from the faith, is because the parents are afraid to have these discussions with their children about the faith, about the conflicting issues within our faith, or the conflicting issues that people think are conflicting within our own faith. And you're afraid to allow and test your children in this way. But I think if you do it the right way and you stay consistent and you prepare them for these things that are going to happen, these discussions, these arguments, whatever makes you feel more comfortable in the verbiage, right? This is going to help you and make your children stronger in the long run, right? In reality, it is. It's going to make you stronger in the long run. So I could go into a little bit more detail on the whole topic and issues. One thing I'll throw out there, just because I am more conservative than liberal, and there's a guy out there, if you watch his YouTube videos, if not, watch him. He's an intelligent guy, a professor. He is a Jordan Peterson, right? Intelligent dude. This is what he said. The left, the liberals, whatever you want to call them, is so stuck on this idea of diversity within anywhere, right? The workplace, this or that, right? We need to have this many blacks, this many whites, this many Hispanics, this many men, this many women within a group, within work, within whatever, because it brings diversity of thoughts and ideas, right? Well, the downfall of that is, the catch-22 is, if you're saying that you need whites, blacks, men, women, whatever for diversity, that's trying to say that black people think different than white people. Well, no, black people don't think different than white people, right? That's like saying men think different than women. But if men think different than women, you're automatically saying there's a difference between men and women. But in this society, then why are you trying to preach that your sexual identity, your gender identity is based on how you feel inside and how you think? So if that's the truth, there's no such thing as true diversity in a workplace having equal amounts of men or women. Because you've already said, if I right now wanted to say I can be a woman, I can be a woman. So if you can create gender identity, you can't say that having equal men or women within a workplace can create diversity, if that makes sense. So I'm going to end it there. Food for thought. Try not to be inbred, right? And I'm not meaning in the sexual way. Open your mind, expand your mind, and make change in the world. Be change. Change yourself. Grow. Mature. And you will see great things happen. So once again, I hope this helps. Don't forget to follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. The podcast is out there. Everything down below in description land. Subscribe to this channel. Share and like these videos.